Hello again,
Hi, viewers.
and welcome back to this episode of Doing It Better
With Geof and Sara.
I was going to say my name.
With Sara and...
Geoff Crumb.
In this episode of Doing It Better in Your Relationship, we're going to introduce a little game called What I Think You Think About Me.
Oh, God.
Would you like to interject with some comment on this game before I explain it?
No, I'd prefer that you just moved right into the explanation. It's kind of like pulling a Band-Aid off.
Geoff loves these. Okay, so in relationship, I notice that I have a lot of perceptions and fears about what my partner might be thinking of me. And I have this like in any connection, really, like family, friends, coworkers, whatever. And a lot of the time, those just stay in the back of my mind and I don't get to check them. So I've been actually really excited to play this game with you and see to what extent some of my perceptions of what I think you think about me are true and which are my mind making things up.
Mm-hmm.
So the way that we're going to play this is we're going to go back and forth. What I think you think about me is. I'm going to say that. And then Geoff is going to take whatever time he needs to think, and then he's going to give a 1 to 5 of how true that is for the way that he sees me.
1 being false.
Mm-hmm.
5 being, wow, yeah, that's completely 100% accurate. I totally think that about you.
And, yeah.
I really like this game. I haven't played with Sara before, so this will be the first time that we're playing live for you, studio audience. But I like this game because it's like internal withholds. And we'll do another section on withholds and appreciations if we haven't demoed that with you before. But it's dredging up and communicating things that are withholds, really, that are about your internal self-perception and the way you think the world sees you. And then you get a lens of a loving, caring partner and all of their brutal honesty and soft, gushy, comforting empathy.
In as much as Geoff remembers that bit.
To mirror that off of you.
And I'm going to add, you can, if you want to play this really spicy, the other person can just give a 1 to 5, but I prefer doing a version where they give a 1 to 5, and then if you want, you can ask more about why they gave that number and what they really do think about you on the topic that you mentioned.
Are we going to model that?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, what I think you think about me, 1 to 5, potential me asking more about it.
Double click. There's a
Yep.
double click function.
There's a double click. Okay, let's do it. Whoever thinks of one first goes first.
I think that you generally think of me as being very unoptimistic and suffering a lot due to a lack of optimism.
You want to know more or no?
No.
Okay. I think you think I'm pretty controlled by my moods to a degree that's unnecessary.
It's my 3.5.
Can you say more?
I can. I think that a process of feeling into your internal experience and the validation that comes with it has put a high priority on in the moment emotional portents for you in a way that it doesn't for me. And so from the outside looking in, it feels as though you have a harder time grappling with triaging and prioritizing emotions over feeling them as they are and allowing them to rule your mood and things that you're doing, even guiding your rational decisions a lot. I don't think it's a bad thing, but I do think it's something that presents a lot.
That's insightful. Thanks.
I think you think I'm sexy, but not in the way that you always or typically find other people sexy. Can you say more?
Um, you're not the norm of people that I have found sexy in the past. And there's been a progression in the type of person that I'm interested in. That's kind of based on the progression of like what I'm kind of learning and focused on in life. So I think the progression went from people that were like extremely emotionally intelligent uh, to people that were like or physical. It was like emotional and physical, like going back and forth for years. And then recently, I started reintegrating a lot of what I think is a more natural balance for me, which includes intellect and the capacity to do things. And so I do tend to be really attracted to people who have a lot of capacity and really get things done. Um, and I think you definitely fit that. And it doesn't have the same balance of like joy and like fitness and like clean living and all this stuff that's emblematic of the communities that I've been in. And I'm finding that the balance you have feels much more possible for long-term partnership than the others that I was previously attracted to. So that's interesting to discover.
I noticed at some point you moved from sexy to attractive.
Do you want me to take off your clothes in front of the camera, or where are we at with this? Let's get one more button.
I prefer to retain my agency in front of the studio audience. Thank you, Sarah Ness.
Okay, I'll do one more.
Okay.
Sweet. I think you think I want more from our relationship than you can give in terms of time and commitment and emotional investment. Can you say more?
I think that me of 9 months ago would have been a 5. And I think that me of even 3 months ago would have been like a real heavy set 4. And I think as we lean into relation together and our dynamics evolve, and I start to realize that there are multiple aspects of our relationship, not just our romantic relationship or our sexual relationship, our friendship, our business endeavors and partnership, coaching, teaching, learning. I recognize the many ways that we can integrate our relationship and its many aspects into our life, and sometimes even compartmentalized ways. And I start to realize that if we're committing to a long-term relationship together, which it feels like more and more, that I can offer the amount of time and the commitment that you want. And there are ways that can happen. It isn't necessarily going to. But as we collaborate more and more and integrate more of our social and our friend circles, and we find common interests where we can spend time together, I'm starting to realize that even as both of our perceptions change and the things maybe you thought you wanted from a relationship have also changed, and your reasons for wanting those things, I think, have changed. And I think that I feel more in a place where it's possible for me to meet you and be not just enough, but ideal in the long run. So maybe even I'm saying it out loud, like in terms of my actual belief, I might be closer to like a 1 or a 2. I think that the insecurities that I have in our relationship about not being enough are based a lot less on this aspect of meeting your desires and expectations than they once were. She had consent. Blanket consent.
Except for foot tickling.
Wait, no, for me.
Yeah.
No wet willies.
And no biting beyond like a 3 out of 5?
Okay,
No,
so
slapping.
we're getting off topic and into personal aspects of our relationship that we don't need to speak about in front of you.
At least without a boundaries game.
Ooh, boundaries games.
That'd be fun.
Ooh, maybe that's what we'll bring to you next.
Anyways, that was what I think you think about me. And I don't know if you noticed, but we definitely got into a bit of a tunnel there, which for me often means that there's real stuff being shared. So thank you for witnessing that.
Can real stuff be stuff?
Real things? Real items.
Yeah. I feel like stuff isn't real. That's why it's stuff.
Is there a different word you would
Off
like to use?
topic again. Sorry, guys. Yeah. It was fun actually playing that game instead of just demoing it for you. Like I said, it was my first time playing it with Sarah, so I enjoyed that. Maybe that's something that we'll do more of.
Yeah, I hope so. And I hope you go home and play this with some other people. It's a great one to even throw into conversation as a quick demo if you think someone else has judgments of you, or you have judgments of them, or you're just not sure how they're perceiving you. Try this sentence stem.
This is a great game to play with people, not just in your relationship, but to play with people that you think ridiculous things about you. If you can coerce them into playing this game with you, it can be a lot of fun. I've done it with business partners and colleagues inside of business organizations that I've worked with before, and I've done it with strangers, and I've definitely done this on a first date.
That's a great one.
I didn't use quite the same language. I often change the language in the default world.
What do you use?
You know, what I think you get about me is, or, yeah, my lens is, what I think your lens is on me. I don't know. It
Nice.
depends on the vernacular of the subgroup that I'm working with at the time. Words. The words they use. Colloquial phrases. I think that about wraps it up.
I think so too.
Yeah.
All right. Till next time.
Have fun. Stay safe.
Be sexy.
Connect harder. We need to work on the tagline.
We do.
Yeah.